highway speed, about 60 miles per hour or 97 kilometers per hour, a delay of just 200 milliseconds, 1/5 of a second, adds roughly 17 feet, which is about 5 meters, to your stopping distance. That's more than an entire crosswalk, although hopefully you're not going 60 miles per hour in a road where there's a crosswalk. That's just a measure for you to get the idea of the distance. Are you ready to get back to what you love after knee replacement? The Total Knee Success Podcast is your trusted guide with practical tips, evidence-based strategies, and no fluff. It's not personal medical advice, just solid education to help you manage pain, regain mobility, and get back to living the life you love. Welcome back to the Total Knee Success Podcast. I'm Michelle, and today we're talking about a pretty common question that comes up in therapy, and that's, when can I drive again? It's such an important milestone because driving represents independence, freedom, and the return to your usual rhythm of life. But the timing really matters, both for your safety and for everyone else on the road. Most people can safely resume driving about 4 to 6 weeks after a right knee replacement and about 2 to 3 weeks after a left knee replacement, assuming they drive an automatic vehicle and are off sedating pain medication. These guidelines come from research that measured how quickly people can move their foot from the gas to the brake and apply firm pressure. A quick note for all of you listening around the world, whether you're in the United States or Canada, where cars are left-hand drive, and we drive on the right side of the road, or in the United Kingdom, Ireland, Australia, New Zealand, or South Africa, where vehicles are right-hand drive and people travel on the left side of the road, the pedal layout is exactly the same. Accelerator on the right, brake on the left. Your right leg still operates both pedals. The difference is simply where the driver's seat sits, not which leg does the work. So the reaction time data we're about to discuss applies across regions. And I truly appreciate everyone who listens from so many different countries. It's great to know we're in this together, learning about getting back to the things you love, wherever you call home. Let's talk about reaction time because that's the true safety gatekeeper. Reaction time is the span between seeing something happen, say a red light or a car pulling out, and when your foot actually hits the brake. It's measured in milliseconds, and those small numbers make a big difference. Here's what that means in real-world driving. At highway speed, about 60 miles per hour or 97 kilometers per hour, a delay of just 200 milliseconds, 1/5 of a second, adds roughly 17 feet, which is about 5 meters, to your stopping distance. That's more than an entire crosswalk, although hopefully you're not going 60 miles per hour in a road where there's a crosswalk. That's just a measure for you to get the idea of the distance. After surgery, most people experience slower reaction times, especially if the right leg was operated on. Studies using driving simulators show that by about 4 weeks after right knee replacement, braking speed usually returns to normal. For left knee replacements, the improvement happens sooner, often around 2 weeks, because the left leg doesn't control the brake in automatic cars. Cars themselves are becoming smarter with more driver assist technology like automatic braking and adaptive cruise control. These features can help in limited situations, but they don't remove your responsibility to react quickly when a system disengages or misreads the environment. Your personal readiness, not the car's technology, is still the gold standard for safety. In terms of laws, most countries haven't changed their regulations about driving after knee replacement, but medication safety rules remain strict. If you're taking anything that causes drowsiness, opioids, benzodiazepines, muscle relaxants, or similar drugs, you're not safe or legally permitted to drive. The American Academy of Orthopaedic Surgeons and other medical bodies continue to emphasize that these medications slow reflexes and impair judgment. Wait until you're fully off them and alert for the entire day before getting back behind the wheel. Now, another important factor in driving comfort and control is your knee range of motion. To press the brake and accelerator smoothly, you generally need at least 90 degrees of knee flexion, enough to keep your foot flat on the floor and move between pedals without strain. Most people reach that level of motion in the first few weeks after surgery, And once you can comfortably bend beyond 100 degrees, the transition from gas to brake feels much more natural. If your knee is still stiff or tight, especially if you need to lift your hip off the seat to reach the pedals, that's a sign to wait a little longer. A comfortable range of motion doesn't just make driving easier, it also prevents compensations at the hip and back that can cause soreness on longer trips. Once you've been cleared by your surgeon or therapist and you're no longer on sedating medication, the safest way to test your readiness is gradual practice. Start in a quiet, empty parking lot. Adjust your seat and mirrors. Fasten your seatbelt and practice smooth accelerations and firm stops at about 20 to 30 miles per hour, roughly 32 to 48 kilometers per hour. If you can stop quickly without pain or hesitation, progress to less busy neighborhood roads, and then to your usual routes, and finally, if comfortable, to highway driving. These step-by-step practice sessions are supported by research showing that graded re-exposure improves confidence and shortens the time needed to return to full driving ability. Before you take your first trip, set yourself up comfortably. Your hips should sit slightly higher than your knees, and your knees shouldn't be jammed against the dashboard. Slide your seat forward enough that you can press the brake fully without leaning. Keep your elbows softly bent at the wheel, and wear shoes with firm, non-slip soles. Skip the slippers and flip-flops. For longer drives, keep a small cooling gel pack ready for afterward, but never while driving. In simulator studies, ergonomic adjustments like proper seat height and supportive footwear led to smoother control and less fatigue. Sitting for longer stretches can increase swelling or stiffness in the first months after surgery, so plan ahead. For drives longer than about an hour, pull over and walk for a few minutes. When you're stopped safely, gentle ankle pumps help blood flow. If swelling or soreness increases after a trip, shorten the distance for a week and build back up gradually. Surgeons often give written clearance to resume driving at your first or second follow-up visit, and it's smart to ask for that note. In some regions, insurance companies may question liability if you drive before official clearance or while using prescription pain medication. Surveys show that most orthopedic surgeons recommend at least 4 weeks before resuming driving after right knee surgery, and somewhat shorter for left knee procedures. That's generally true for drivers in the US, Canada, the UK, Australia, and other countries where the right leg operates the pedals. Check your local information and always discuss this with your surgeon. Let me share an example that shows why patience pays off. I once worked with a patient who decided to drive a little early so they could visit their son about an hour away. They were off pain medication but still had stiffness and mild swelling. The drive went fine, but by that evening, their knee was sore and visibly swollen. The swelling lasted for 3 days, and they walked with a limp during that time. When they waited a couple more weeks and tried again, the same trip was easy. No soreness, no swelling, and no limp. It was a great reminder that the body, not the calendar, generally sets the timeline. So how do you know when you're ready? You should feel alert, focused, and confident. Your leg should respond quickly and without hesitation. If your knee still feels weak, tight, or uncertain, give it more time. Driving safely is about readiness, not rushing. Reaction time is your key safety measure. The right leg usually needs about 4 to 6 weeks, the left about 2 to 3. Don't drive while on any sedating medications. Make sure your knee can bend comfortably past 90 degrees. Practice in stages. Adjust your seat. Take breaks on longer trips, and get your surgeon's clearance before heading out. For practical resources, visit TotalKneeSuccess.com. You're steadily regaining independence, and that's something to celebrate. In episode 18, we'll look at returning to work after knee replacement, including realistic timelines for desk, hybrid, and physical jobs. Until then, stay safe, be patient, and enjoy each milestone along the way. This podcast is for educational purposes only. Discover more at TotalKneeSuccess.com, and be sure to subscribe and share, because every step forward takes you closer to living the life you love.